How about that? You heard from double machine Aaliyah Boston, and that's understating. I mean, not just getting 10 boards, Christy Winters-Scott, you know about the rebounding, but 15, 20, sometimes 22, 25 rebounds for her.
Yeah.
And then the champion, Dawn Staley, who, as Aaliyah pointed out, is 2-0 in championship games after the win.
Yeah.
A fairly convincing win over UConn. UConn's first championship loss ever. Chrissy, you know, we talked with you a couple of weeks ago, and you said, hey, South Carolina is the best team.
I tell you.
How did this tell us about this journey, and what do you think the key was for South Carolina, whether it was last night or a game that led to that preceded the Final Four?
Well, first of all, thank you all for the opportunity to share my view on the South Carolina journey. And first of all, I've known Dawn Staley since our collegiate days. I played at Maryland, clearly. She played at Virginia. We crossed paths on the court. I wasn't matched up with her directly, but boy, when I had to switch on to her, it was not cute. She would pass right under my arm. Anywho, but she coaches with the same passion that she played the game with. And that's the point. I think that, you know, her integrity and her responsibility as a coach and being a dream merchant, as she calls herself, I love that. And I think that's what we all are, right? As Black women who are in leadership positions. I've coached for a long time. And yes, there's a different kind of scrutiny. There's a different kind of level that you are measured by. And I think that goes across the board, not just in coaching, but across the board. And it's a microcosm in sports. But with Dawn Staley saying what she said about being an encourager, I just love that. And I think that all of the kids have bought into that. All of her players bought into the passion that she provides to them and the encouragement. And I know there are days that aren't easy. I mean, they lost the SEC championship to Kentucky. They lost on a buzzer beater to Missouri earlier in the season. And those moments prepared them. And she said it best after the game. She said, our steps were ordered for us to be champions on this day. And the fact that she can preach, and that's what I was saying all night last night, preach, Dawn. She was preaching to us about what it takes to be a Black woman, to be a leader, to be counted out because of your race and your gender most times, and then to not only be included, but to make your own chair and sit it at the table that you've created. And she's created such a legacy there at South Carolina. I mean, she's won on every level. I mean, she's won as an Olympic player for years, repeated. She's won as an Olympic coach as well. And now this is her second ring that she has earned at South Carolina. And she says she wants it more than the kids do. And you know how much the kids want to win a championship. That's why you recruit them. You tell them in their living rooms with their parents, we want to win championships. And then to have the responsibility and the integrity to follow that up and actually do it. I mean, you know, the be who they see notion stands out to me with Dawn Staley. I mean, be who they see, and they see a leader. And she's 5'5". So we're not talking about outwardly. We're talking about her heart, her integrity, her passion, her emotion, and all of that. And how it just was an amazing moment for all of us who have known her, or all of us who have just learned about her. But you heard everything that she said, and she speaks from the heart. She doesn't hide anything, but statistically speaking, I mean, they pounded UConn on the glass 49-24. Aaliyah Boston had 33% of their rebounds. She had 16 boards. I mean, that's work, okay? And Aaliyah Boston said, I don't want to be remembered for crying last year when we lost to Stanford in the semifinals. And then she gave everybody that bright smile through her tears last night. And I mean, it was just so beautiful and powerful at the same time to see those young women and to see Dawn Staley not only give credit to the players, the 7 or 8 rotational players, but the players who prepared them for the moment, right? She gave credit to the bench players. Who does that? Cool. Who has ever done that? Who has ever done that? So, I mean, Dawn, it's her time, and she's cut from a different cloth, and she gets it, and I love it.
Yo, man, you preaching right now. I mean, you know, and speaking of, she 5'5", she stands alone. She is the only Black coach in D1 history, man or woman, with 2 national championships. But look, like at the risk of asking you to preach more, and I want more of it, but you may have already answered, is what I'm saying. You may have already answered the question, but you tweeted last night that you were crying tears of joy as you watched South Carolina. Like, beyond the obvious and everything you've already laid out, what was it that hit so close to home for you watching those images, those historic images play out on screen last night?
You're trying to get me to cry right now, right? Because I am almost about to. I just think it was such.
I know. But you among family, though. but you among family, so let it out.
I'm good. I just think, it was so powerful because, we're always counted out. It just feels like, not sorry. But just to see her succeed and, for people to say, you can't do it, or you shouldn't be able to do it, right? You've been given all these resources and, there's always going to be naysayers, but it's just more than one naysayer most times for Black women. And I think for Dawn, she spoke for so many of us, not just as coaches, not just as parents and mentors in the community, but I just think she just, she sat there and said, it's my time. And this is how I'm going to be a dream merchant for these young women. And for her to create those lifelong memories for them, and for her to know the journey herself as a player, and for her to, sacrifice what she wants in order to pour into them, to give them what they need. I think that's just the supreme example of who Dawn Staley is. From South Philly, tough as nails. She knows how to get it done. And, she was reluctant to get into coaching, she said, because of the humongous responsibility of creating those dreams and memories for those young women. But wow, here she stands at 5'5", right? But here she stands as a mountain of a woman in so many other ways. Again, not outwardly, but just her spirit is so huge. And I think the statement that she created by leading those women the way that she did, you can't measure that. And for me personally, I've coached for a long time. I'm a mom of 3. And just those examples, they don't go lost on me. She is what it is right now in terms of just standing in your passion and standing in your purpose. And I think the example of that just empowers so many, and empowers me, and it empowers men and women. It's not just for women, but it's really focused on women right now because that's who she is in charge, and who she's responsible for. And I just think that she has just carried that weight. And I know that she was so relieved when she saw her with the picture with her hands up, and she's a Christian, and just the way that she just gives all honor to God and the glory of that moment to him with her hands extended like that. What can you do? I'm a PK, so I get that part of it too, but just to have her spirit shine through those young ladies, I'll never forget that. And the example that was created for so many that were watching, and Candace Parker being there, and Aaliyah Boston shouting her out, and her giving her the love signal from across the way. Mm-hmm. That's what this game is all about. People have posters of Dawn Staley in their room, and just gave her that respect and love as a player. But now look at what's happening. Now Candace Parker going back home to Chicago, winning a championship last year in the WNBA after winning in 2016 with LA, and watching Aaliyah Boston just have a fangirl moment in that moment. and giving respect where respect and credit is due to an icon like Candace Parker. So it's people, it's women like Candace Parker, it's people and women like a Dawn Staley who are just creating so much leverage for the next generation of young women, and just giving hope to the ones who are walking lockstep with her arm in arm.
See, now it makes sense now, Christy. You said you're a preacher's kid. Oh, we get it now.
I am.
Now. Okay. All right.
It comes through sometimes.
Now I'm putting it together. You mentioned Dawn Staley from Philly. Gino Auriemma is from Philly too. And I remember covering when Gino went back to Philly, they played Tennessee and they beat them. And at that point, Tennessee had more national championships. This is like 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. Tennessee had more national championships, but I remember UConn winning that game so convincingly. Yeah. And I wrote of the transfer is taking place. Now UConn is taking over the keys from Tennessee. Okay. And that's actually what happened. Yeah. Now, 11 championships for UConn to 2 for South Carolina. Okay. It's a little premature to say a transfer is taking place, but what would it take for South Carolina to get to that point where it's not just 2 championships, which is a bunch, but they start to become like a UConn program or a Tennessee program? What will that take? Or is that era of women's basketball over? There's just too much parity for that to happen again.
Well, there's so much parity, but I mean, right now with South Carolina, I mean, they hold the keys, right? They hold the keys to the Ferrari, and it's going. Okay, I just think that it's their turn. I think she has another strong recruiting class coming in to South Carolina, and what she's been able to do, I think, has just been amazing over her short time down there. I mean, she calls the fans and the family, they call them fams. I mean, she's got this connectivity to the community and the respect of them, and they travel well, not just for the Final Four and the NCAA tournament, but all season long. They pack the house wherever that team goes, and I think she has created just a following of goodness, right? A following of what it means to be a family. And I think that she has extended that beyond the program. She's extended it into the community. She's extended it into the women's basketball realm, just overall, obviously, with 2 championships. So I think the respect that Dawn Staley commands, I just think is amazing. And I don't want to call it a change of guard because I don't know if we can quantify what that is. So I can't say that solidly, but I will say today, day after the championship, that there seems to be a shift on this day. On this day. No, I got and there seems to be a shift. Right. That made the moment when she said it that way. But I think on this day, it has felt like that. And what Dawn Staley is doing, I know that other coaches can now mimic that, and not in terms of tactically speaking and not in terms of personnel and recruits, but just in the way you deal and lead these young women. She has set the bar so incredibly high. And in that regard, yes, I say that the needle has changed and the game has changed, and the pendulum is going towards, let's be all inclusive. Let's meet these young women where they are and take them where they want to go. And I think that's what Dawn Staley has presented there.
So we talked about destiny in more ways than one. Destiny Henderson with those 26 points. We talked about divinely ordered, a potential dynasty. Only we ain't covered was Louis Vuitton Dawn with the jacket. Killing them with the jacket. But Christy Winters-Scott, thank you so much for answering the call and coming through and kicking with us. Let's just say you were called for such a time as this, and the doors of the church are open.
I appreciate y'all. That's right.
Is there one? Is there one? We appreciate you, Christy. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.